Well, I guess it must be Wednesday because I'm sitting up there looking at some blue and white all the way from Kentucky. How you doing, Coach Carter?
No, no, no. Tennessee, 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 Tennessee,
well,
not
well,
Kentucky,
actually,
Tennessee.
I guess I need to be looking at some orange, don't I?
Uh, I don't know, maybe.
Well, anyway, welcome to Youth Central Sports. I'm Charles Morris, along with the original Coach Carter, where we come your way every Wednesday at 11 p.m. right here at Youth Central Sports. You know what, Vince? How long we been doing Youth Central Sports now? I mean, how long we been doing the show now?
Well, we've been doing it at least 4 years with me not being there. So we've been doing this a good 6 or 7 years, I think.
Oh,
Would
wow.
that be at least 6 years? Because we start well, maybe not though, because we took off when I first got up here. We weren't doing it.
Right,
Then I came back, and so it's been about 4 years then, because I think we did a year before I left, maybe a year and a half before I left. We
right.
took off a year, and then we came back to it. So I would say 4 years, 4.5 years, somewhere around in there.
Okay, wow, man. Well, I was blown away that you've been gone that long. I'm thinking you've been
Yeah,
gone like 2 years, but you say you're coming up on your fourth year that you've been
fourth
up
year,
there in
fourth year, yeah, fourth
Tennessee.
year in Tennessee. Yeah, fourth year.
Okay,
Time
well,
flies. I tell you, get by so fast.
okay. Well, I'm Charles Morris with the original Coach Carter, where we come your way every Wednesday at 11 p.m. with Youth Central Sports, where we talk about a lot of things that pertaining to sports. And one of the reasons that we decided to do the show is because I've been in the mentoring, Coach Carter been in the mentoring, and we try to talk about Youth Central Sports in the way that how sports can be used as a tool for mentoring and a lot of positive things. But we also try to help you understand that if you don't have your child in the right environment, it can also be something very negative. So we try to talk about how we can use this wonderful tool called sports to
Absolutely.
make a difference in the world in a lot of ways. We can touch the lives of a lot of youth around the world,
Mhm.
and I know over the years, and I won't even begin to ask you how many kids you've coached over the years. I don't even know if your calculator can compute that high, but I know it's
I don't
it's
think so.
yeah, it's been some kids, right?
It has been. If you would calculate in the time basketball camps, clinics, basketball events, that being tournaments, league play, and then the kids I've coached from an actual coaching standpoint. It's the number is frightening. The number of kids that I have had the opportunity to come in contact with, I'm amazed. As a matter of fact, I got a Facebook message today from a kid who I coached a freshman at Boone almost 9 years ago.
Hmm.
Today, out of nowhere, he hit me up and said, "Hey," and kind of spoke to me. And I had two kids. One kid still referred to me as coach, and that is probably one of the most heartwarming things for a kid to remember you as coach. And he reached out and said, "Hey, coach, how you doing? I wanted to know how you were doing," and chit chat. So it kind of gave me a nostalgic feeling. Also, kind of aged me a little bit because I was looking at those guys, thinking you guys have gotten older. But I coached my first year at Boone, which has been 9 years ago.
Oh,
9 years ago. So I kind of get the feeling now how coaches feel when they see these kids go on and do other things, and whether they play ball or not. I'm starting to experience that now, and that's
oh,
very rewarding.
oh, okay. Well, we want to say you make sure that you like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're streaming right now live to Facebook. We're streaming live to Twitter. We're streaming live to Periscope. We're streaming live to Youth Central Sports. So we just covering it all.
We're
So
streaming. We're just streaming live.
yeah. So let me ask you. We were just recently talking. Do you have anybody that has been affected by the storm? Because man, I'm looking at some of that video footage, and prayers go out to man anybody that's caught up in that storm. It's something serious, but it started out. I mean, it came along very quickly. It was a
Hmm.
one. It came when it hit land. I think it was a four, almost a five, but
Right,
it's
right.
woo. Did you see the picture of that gym where I mean, like the roof
Yeah,
came off and you can see the
yeah.
basketball
Well,
court
that,
and
that
you look out the way you see the street?
Yeah, it just took down both ends. Interestingly enough, the goals were left up, but both ends were gone. And I thought, and they were saying that fortunately no one was in there at the time. That's amazing to take that down like that.
Right.
They showed several videos of trees being uprooted, which I thought that's just amazing to see that. I did have a couple of people in the Tallahassee, Pensacola area, but I know one guy left Monday. He's been gone, and the other one I hope I have not heard from him, but I'm going to say that he probably got out. But now I've got to contact some people up in Atlanta and then into the Carolinas because my oldest daughter's in North Carolina, and she just got through being indirectly affected by the previous
Right.
storm. It looks like she's going to get some more of that coming up again. So, but fortunately, at this time, I've heard of no one who's been damaged by any way as of yet. So my fingers are crossed for that and praying for them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my people from my mother's side, everybody from my mother's side, they're from a little small town on the outskirts of Tallahassee called Perry, Florida. So I got to call and check.
I'm familiar with Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so have to call and see how Jayville is doing. You know, because I'm from Jacksonville, so
Right.
heard that it was raining there a lot. And but do my family that's in the Carolinas, who as you know, they really was not affected that much in the last hurricane, you know, a few weeks ago.
Right.
But I know Georgia is being hit right now, so it's like
Yes.
crazy. So
Yes.
prayers and
Actually,
it goes out to
the
those in the
eye
path of the
and
storm.
yeah, because the eye is up between Augusta and Atlanta, and just pouring down rain. Now it's down to a Category 1, but still that's a lot of wind and rain. And then you
Right.
got reservoirs that are going to be overflowing, so you're going to have flooding to deal with. So, like the guys were saying, just don't think because the storm is past that the danger is over. The danger is still just beginning. Half what 500,000 people without power in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. That's a lot of people with no power.
Yeah, it says 550,000. I know that there was a confirm of one death so far.
Yes, so far
Yeah, right, right, right,
they mentioned.
right. Well, again, prayers goes out, and I know there's a couple of phone calls that I'm going to have to make later on. Man, it's
Yes,
and I don't know if there's another one out there, but I know that we're not. Man, it's this time of the year is just like always, just like you just like whoa, you're just hoping to get
yeah,
to December without so many of the
hmm
tropical storms and the hurricanes heading this way. But when that water has become warm and out in the Gulf and so on and so forth, Mother
yeah.
Nature does its thing, and so man, we're at the mercy of it.
That is
Listen,
true. That is
oh,
absolutely.
did you get a chance? And I didn't get it, but actually, no. What I did call up the champ Pinklin Thomas for him coming on the show, and like I
Okay.
said, when I did see him and I mentioned your name, man, he just lit up like a Christmas tree. Oh man, yeah, man, yeah, man, I wanna. And he mentioned Arthur and Midnight Basketball. So
Yep.
Pinklin Thomas.
Right.
And for those who don't know who Pinklin Thomas is, you just go Google him and you will see some of the highlights of the heavyweight champion of the world. And
That's right. That's
it was
right.
nice to have him on the show
Local
last
guy.
week.
Yeah, he's good people too. Seriously good people.
Yeah. Now, question: are you following Major League Baseball?
To be honest with you, I am not. I have when they get down to the actual World Series, I'll probably be more attentive. But I know that the Dodgers and the were in there for a minute. I think the Braves were in there for a minute. The Yankees, but am I not right? The Yankees are out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
that was
the
one of
Red
my
Sox
teams.
took care of the
Dodgers.
Yankees, so I know
They,
that thing between the Red Sox and the Yankees, man, that's some serious stuff there, and so
that's serious. You talking about rivalries? That's a good
right,
rivalry
yeah,
right there.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
absolutely do not like one another, and they make no bones about that either. They don't like each other
No,
at all.
no, not at all, not at all. I went to school in Boston. Uh, did I tell you that? I went to school in Boston.
Yeah, you did mention that you were in that area for a while.
That's yeah. That's when I learned up in the New England area, that whole area, how much man they love hockey, and man they
Mm-hmm.
love hockey up
Mm-hmm.
there. They love their Patriots, man. They love their Celtics. Oh my God. And they
Yeah, the
love their Red
Celtics, and
Sox.
they love them Red Sox too. Now they're crazy about them Red Sox. They are. I would say that emotional attachment they have for those Red Sox sometimes is stronger than that Celtic green.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. It's some interesting stuff up there. And the funny thing is, I'm friends with I think I told you that I was friends with John Bagley. Bagley that played for
Hmm.
Boston College. He also played for the Nets in Cleveland, and
Hmm.
he went to the Celtics. When he went to the
Right.
Celtics and he was playing there with Larry Bird, and he made a note. He said, "Man," he said, "coming here in Boston and playing Boston." He said, "This is a whole different breed right there." He said, "It's totally different." He said, "It's totally different than any other place he had ever played because of how serious they
Hmm.
take their basketball."
Absolutely. They were. I was watching a episode of Open Court today, and they were talking about the adjustments from coast to coast and playing in minor markets and major markets. Chris Bosh was talking about when he came out of Toronto and went and joined Miami, and they went back to Cleveland after LeBron had left. And when he said he walked in, he had never seen that type of enthusiasm or hatred, if you would, at that time for LeBron, but the passion that people had for the sport took him to another level. He said that was his first experience because he had been playing in Toronto at that time, which
Hmm.
they had a strong fan base, but nothing like Cleveland. And that's a lot of what they're talking about too this year in the NBA is a lot of rookies are going to have to adjust to playing A ball every night, and then going into some very hostile environments and network, and just learning how to compete every night at the highest level that you can, which is really going to make it a very for an interesting season, I think.
Well, see, you were just talking about a couple of things that I wanted to get into. I wanted to ask you because the Lakers are playing the Warriors right now, but also
Hmm.
can you picture Lance Stevens and LeBron James on the same team? I mean, how wild is
When
that,
when
right?
they Yeah, when they made that trade, I laughed and laughed and laughed and said, "Y'all that's got to be a joke. That can't be real." But they are finding a way to coexist. We'll see how well that lasts. But that's an interesting combination. I thought, to my surprise, McGee is looking very good in preseason. I realize it's preseason. I will say that, but he is really looking very, very good for them. But I still don't think it's enough for the Lakers. But it's good. It will be interesting to watch them play. I still think they got some other issues they got to overcome first, from a chemistry standpoint, basketball IQ and ideology. But it'll be interesting. A lot of people are picking them, to do some great things. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting.
Well, you were just saying that there's a lot going on in NBA. Like for example, did you see the write up or did you see the story on Jimmy Butler and the
Yes.
Timberwolves and what he was doing in
Yeah.
practice? Did you see any of that?
No, I didn't see. I read about it, but I didn't see any of it. Again, it speaks to where we are today in the league. I still think sometimes we're lacking some maturity, but still, it's where we are. I mean, it's what we got on the floor today.
Well, the same thing in reference to. I think that they have given too much power to the players, but I also think because the owners are so greedy.
Yeah, well, everybody want to win,
Well,
and
yeah,
they're taking
but
the George
at but
Steinbrenner approach.
but at what cost, though, Vince? I
But
mean, but at
see,
what
that's
cost?
that's the George that's the George Steinbrenner approach. He went out there and wanted to buy a championship team, but the cost of that was far more than dollars. It had to do with cultural impact, team chemistry, relationships. They destroyed a whole lot of relationship with the idea of just putting all those guys together without taking the time to be patient and really pick and choose. He just went out and got the best, whatever his money could buy. And I think that has changed the league. One of the things Isaiah Thomas said today in open court I thought was very interesting is that they're for a landscape a player to come and landscape of the game. In his opinion, everybody, all the teams, all the players look exactly alike. the skill levels, the mentality, the way they play the game. It's just a carbon copy of each other. Somebody's got to come along, like a Shaq that came along and changed the game, a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that came along and changed the game, a Magic Johnson, and you can even a LeBron and those guys who brought something, not that cookie cutter approach to the game. Chris Barnes was talking about that we're starting to see a little bit resurgent of the big man coming back. True big guys. He said what's going to have to happen, he thinks, is some team is going to have to go out there. And Boogie Cousins could be that guy that gives that kind of exposure to that. And then there's going to be a resurgence for that. And that goes to what they're talking about, a changing of the game. Right now, it's just cookie cutter. Every team looks like they all run the same plays. They all got the same kind of skill level players. The coaching seems to be the same. I think one of the things that's different in that is the Warriors. The Warriors got a different approach, and everybody's trying to match that, which it may eventually get it done, but it's going to be a while. So that impact player, now they named some players that they thought were impact players, Ben Simmons being one of them. It could very well in time be a true impact player, a game changer from the style of play. But all of that's what's going to make this different. And I think to some degree, a lot of people I talk with find the NBA game very boring, except for when you get somebody like maybe the Warriors come along and the series they had with LeBron and the series they had with Houston was kind of interesting basketball. But outside of that, I kind of agree. It's kind of cookie cutter.
Well, I mean, for me, it's been a long time since I played on that level in which, as far as the high, competition when, coming out of college and da da da, but it's a lot of times it's really hard to watch the game itself because the way that it's played. Well, I mean, like for an example, when we had Pinklin Thomas on last week, and he kind of shared the same thought and the same philosophy when it comes to boxing. What happened to boxing? Because he was just saying is what's out there now is kind of like what you were saying, a cookie cutter. There's no more of the true boxing and the skill and blah 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 blah. So as athletes
Not being passed on.
Right. So
Not being passed.
the athletes today, where before, I think back to the owners and back to the business of it, it's just more about the making the money, is more about entertaining the fans, is more about the fast pace, is more about the high scoring. It's all the things that I think take away from what sports is, in the sense of the skill level and how we was taught to play and how the game was meant to be played. Now, later on, I wanted to talk about, not now, but later on, I want to talk about what the heck is going on with this darn rule in the NFL, because it's comical. It's gotten to the point where it's comical, where the defensive player, they're confused on how to hit the quarterback. So all this stuff is going on, but where we are just trying to make money in sports. And years ago, I've been turned off, because when I was working at Orange TV, this was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, for a period of 3 years, Vince, I had a media pass where I can go and see the Magic for free for 3 years. I think I went to 2 games in 3 years, and I could go see them play for free. I think I went to 2 games, Vince, 2, because it's just so turned off by it.
Yeah, well, that's the nature. I mean, that's you can look at it in the fashion world, you can look at it in automobiles, you can look at it in technology. I hear people who kind of feel the same way about that, about change. Change is inevitable. It was going to happen. It's going to have to happen, and we're going to change again, because it's just the nature of it all. Because we do get to that cookie cutter look. We all look the same, act the same, do the same thing. And the activity, the fashion, whatever it is you're looking at becomes boring. So an innovator has to come along and do dust the 3-point shot. That's what came about the timeout situation. That led to the 3 officials on the floor, and all about changing the game. Yes, bottom line, owners want to make money. That's human nature, and we would be remiss not to understand that they want to do that. Is this an entertainment field? Yes, it is. But purists look at it as a game that played at the highest level, on the purest level. But given that, you still got to make money, or you can't put it on national TV. So what they have done, in my opinion, is watered it down by not so much that they're chasing the dollar, but the talent that they let in the league. This one and done, these high school players coming in, bringing in these guys who aren't skilled, who aren't prepared to do this game. That brings in all these other social issues that we have: bankruptcy, domestic violence. We've even gone to some very serious murder charges, dope use. All this is young athletes coming in, being exposed without being, in my opinion, and I'm old school, I know that's what they're going to say, but I think that's a part of why we're doing that. We're bringing these kids in, and owners want to get the best. They're competitive. I understand that. I have no problem with that. You want to throw your money around. I understand that. That's your dollars. You do what you think is right. But then there should be some ownership to what we do for the player that we bring in. How are we taking care of them? And I'm not sure that's being done. That's what you see out there. We're bending rules to keep these guys eligible. I think that's wrong. I really think that's wrong. I think we're giving them passes where if I did it, I'm gone. There is no. So I think if we're going to do that, and I'm okay with change. I may not like it, but I understand change. I'm coaching in an environment where I like playing a 2-3 defense, but it doesn't work as like it used to unless you have the right personnel. So I can't force that 2-3 out there. So I have to play more man to man. I may have to play more 1-3-1. And I don't like the 1-3-1, but I may have to play that based on personnel. So that's changing of the game based on the player on the floor. But to me, the ideology and the philosophy and the integrity of the game, that's where I have my problem, is that we watered the game down. We've changed the game, and that to make it more entertaining, I'm okay with that. I may not like some of it, but I understand that. The shot clock, I get it. They've got some subtle rules that are taking place in this year's NBA game to kind of speed it up a little bit to make it more exciting. I'm fine with that. But it's the other issues. Are we holding these guys accountable for who they are? Are we making them earn their money? Are we checking them on the things that they do wrong? What happened when he doesn't perform? You going to reward him anyway? Those are the issues that I have that I'm thinking that need to be addressed, not only at the NBA level, but the collegiate level, the high school level, back to youth, right back to the youth level. And that's what's not happening. I saw a piece on Facebook. This is an old piece. And I hope I try to remember. It's from a softball coach at the University of Alabama. Unruly players become unruly adults. So your kid needs to be given instruction, needs to be disciplined at an early age so he learns to be disciplined, understand discipline, how it can be used. Well, when you look at the sport, you see a lot of unruly kids that become unruly adults. And some of those guys are coaching our kids out there today. So the game has changed, but it's the integrity of the game I think has changed. That's what I think. I understand the mechanic change because, I coached it. I heard from a kid today that I hadn't heard from him in 9 years. I was shocked to hear from him, to watch him grow up. He's grown into an adult. I can remember coaching when we had a 6'11" center, shot blocker, rim protector, and the next year we didn't have it. I didn't know what to do. I thought we could still play the same defense. Can't do that. It's different kind of players and skill level. So a lot of changes has to take place. But the integrity, Charles, that's what you're talking about. We got to make money. There's no question about that. But I think if we're going to make money, we got to have integrity, and we don't have that.
But Vince, they gonna make their money. Oh, I mean, as much
No,
as they may slam, like for example, Trump may say something in reference to being dispatriotic and people shouldn't watch it. People
we
gonna
don't
watch
even, we don't
sports,
even,
man.
we don't entertain
People
that.
not going anywhere because they don't have anything else to
No,
do with their lives. So sports, I
well,
mean, that's all they know in their lives. So that's what they're gonna do. If they go away, they're not
well,
gonna go away that long. They're gonna come right back because
well.
they don't know what else to do with their lives. The money is gonna be there,
I'm one of
but they
those,
just so
but I'm one of
greedy.
those persons. Charles, I'm one of those persons. I'm in the sports world. I love it. I love everything about it, from good, bad, and different. So if you take it away, you can't take it away because I love sport. So
Right.
I'll just go to some other sport. You can't take that away. But poor product on a court, on a field will affect you. It's going to
But
affect your ability to get better. It's going to affect. So the dollar makes in how you spend that dollar and what you do with that dollar is important. Give case in point, Mark Cuban just dropped 10 million. We talked about that the other day. $10 million to clean up a nasty situation. Guess what? They just recently, as last week, they had to fire another executive. Is the
Right.
message getting through to those people? Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that.
But
Now he's being responsible because he had to fire another executive. So you know it's real life, but it's on a bigger stage.
right, right, right. And see, and what I mean by that is that they become so greedy and so this and so that. The game is good, but they're always trying to find a way to make it more this about
You
the
got to.
fans, more that about the fans. That now, just like watching, like I told you last season, sometimes it's hard to watch the NBA because I don't even know what that is out there. You can't go anywhere
Yeah.
else and play the game the way they play it. So and
But
even
y'all,
with the I
but,
mean, even with the NFL, what the heck is going on now, man? It's just like really
but
because
Charles,
everything is geared toward the offense,
look,
offense, offense, offense,
look in the stands,
offense.
Charles.
Huh?
Look in the stands, Charles. There are a few people who feel like you, but most people don't really care. They want to see football, they want to see basketball, they want to see baseball. Only the purists have a real hard time accepting the change. But the change is inevitable. There are people out there who don't even know the game, just love to go to a football game. They don't care what they do out there. Okay, it's like a friend of mine is a car racing nut and can't tell you one person that drives. He just likes cars going around that oval track, which to me makes no sense. But he loves it, and he doesn't know that. I can ask him right now, name me a driver. He can't name you one driver, but he loves the car racing. So to me and you, it might seem like I don't understand it, but to the younger kid out there, this is all he or she knows. They don't know any different than what they're looking at right now. And to them, this is great basketball because of the name players that they know. But those of us who have been around a while know that, yeah, this guy's doing really well. But there are people who before him who, were, in my opinion, was a better ball player. The
Right.
teams were different. A whole lot of things were different than it is today. So I think what helps me understand that is coaching in today's market. I got to coach that same kid that you're talking about who's sitting in the stand, who thinks that this is the best basketball he's ever seen. Okay, I got to. That's where I got to start. I got to start right there. It's the best. It is the best basketball you've ever seen. Yeah, you're right. It's the best basketball you have ever seen. That is absolutely correct. So I got to start there, and we work forward from there.
It's
So
hard to
I would
watch,
agree
man.
with
It's
them.
hard to watch.
It is, but if you're watching it as a fan, and and as a I watch it like you as a fan, then I watch it as a coach. So it's even then sometimes it's kind of difficult watching it as a coach. Like, but I understand trying to watch it as a coach kind of helps me watch it as a fan. I kind of understand why some things are being done, but I don't always agree with why you're doing it. But I say, okay, I can see it. So it's the two hat. You got the two hat syndrome. I got the two hat syndrome. It's trying to look at it from the purist side of it, from the technical side, and then looking at it from the fan side. And that's a tough hat to wear, two hats to wear. And I'm trying to make it one hat, but it's hard sometimes. But if I'm going to compete, I got to be where they are today. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but I got to compete.
Okay.
So I got to get out there and
You
do
was
it.
just talking about the FBI report going into the NCAA, which they've been kind of quiet. They've been kind of quiet,
Yeah,
but what's going on?
well, they got. I was trying to make sure I had some of that. They got all. Well, right now they in Kentucky. They lighten up somebody. The assistant coach for the Celtics, Allen. They really got him pinned up. And they got evidence that he had changed some dollars on Markel Fultz, and there's one other NBA player. I'm trying to look it up while we talk now. That they got them passing money. $10,000 here, $10,000 there. One of the fathers, Brian, hold on, just give me a quick second. Let me see if I can put my hands on this.
Yeah, because it,
Um,
it, it was funny because I was just thinking the other day because at one point it was kind of like in the news, it was kind of like a big thing, and then it just kind of went away. But it's like,
well,
oh,
you remember the
go ahead.
the uh, the the uh, the guy in New York who was the state attorney said now he had made in his closing statement that he made when they made that last announcement. He said, "We will be back, and I'm letting you all know you might want to come to me before I come to you. This is not over."
Right.
So he said, "Y'all might want to call me before I call you." And so, like Brian Bowen Jr., he went to school, University of Kentucky. He and his dad, well, he went there, and his dad was talking about how they had approached him, a guy from AAU, and then another guy from the Adidas shoe company, with some payments up to $100,000 to get him to commit to Louisville. They have that information. That's creditable information right there. And what they're also now, they're tying to that also that other fees in defenders, University of Southern California, Oklahoma State, Arizona, and Auburn are all involved in that. And you've already got some. Bruce Pearl is on the fence. They had Self on the fence. They got the guy in
Pearl.
Oklahoma.
I mean, Pearl hasn't learned the lesson yet. How many
Well,
places has he
what they're
been where his
saying,
name been brought up in the news doing stuff?
well, what they're saying right now is that there's no direct relationship to him, but the program and one of his assistants. Right
Oh,
now they
okay.
can't, but they're gonna put it on him because he's the head coach.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, and right here, they got detailed meetings and times that took place on the exchanging this money with this guy regarding Louisville. They also were looking at Marcel Fultz, the guy that was a first round
Right.
draft pick for Philadelphia, and they have proven that $10,000 had exchanged hands there with the intent. Now they're saying the players may not have been aware of it per se, that their handlers and stuff like that. But I tell you what, it's a mess, and it's getting in, and the FBI is slowly walking down one by one. And what
But
I believe is happening, my personal opinion is that they're contacting people at the back door and saying, you might want to come on and talk to me because I'm on my way to
but
see
but
you.
but
You might want to
Vince,
get to me first.
Vince. Let's not talk about Vince Carter Jr. Okay. Let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
Vince Carter Sr. Right.
But bang,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Vince Carter Sr. got a real nice, sweet jump shot. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got a nice crossover. Vince Carter Sr. averaging about 29 points a game. Right. There's
Mm-hmm.
there's there's some $10,000 around Vince Carter Sr. and Vince Carter Sr. don't know nothing about that $10,000. Come on, man.
Well, I don't always believe that you don't know. I think people may be ignoring it. There's some people saying I'm not going to be involved, but you can't help but know. I think you may get plausible deniability because I was not directly involved, but it's hard for me to believe that you didn't know about it. Now you may have chosen not to be involved in it, and you keep a distance from it, but you hear the rumbling. Somebody's talking to you. Somebody's mentioning it casually just to see if you bite on it. I've been involved in a couple of those, and we said no, we don't want to be involved in that. So it's out there. It's hard for me to believe Patino didn't know. He knew, but he had the plausible deniability because he wasn't directly involved. But you're going to tell me one of his assistants are out there doing something like that, and he didn't know? No, that's hard for me to believe that. So, and a lot of these coaches, they're getting caught. They're blaming the shoe company, but I say this: the shoe company bring you $100,000. You don't have to take it. You can always tell them no. But when you say yes, it puts you in bed with them. So now you want to say, well, it's the shoe company's fault. No, it's not. Because legally they can they have a platform to do that. The integrity comes whether or not you want to accept it or not. Sonny Bakar said that a long time ago because he was one of the first persons who got a shoe contract with an athlete. And he said, listen, I had one or two athletes that I had negotiated a deal for, and the school said, hey, we want some of that. So he was saying, well, wait a minute now. He said they could have very easily told me we don't want none. And he offered it to them and they took it. He said, it's not my fault that they took it.
Right.
You can't make me the villain, which I
Right.
agree with. I mean, in my opinion, I agree with him. So it's catching up. And we all know that it goes on. I've coached AAU ball. I haven't coached at the elite level, but I have coached a few kids that were looked at, and I've heard some conversation. I have been around teams and involved with teams where they had that kind of athlete. We've seen it. We chose not to be involved in it. At least I didn't, and I don't think the guys I worked with at the time did. I don't think they believed it either. So it's out there. It's real, but it's catching. I think it's going to hopefully, and this is being totally optimistic, that it's going to level off the game a little bit. We're gonna put this thing back where it gets level again. Good recruiting is good recruiting. You got some guys that can seriously recruit kids, but when you throw that dollar into it, that just changes the game, and that's what I don't like.
Yeah, and see, there's gonna always be that one person that think that they can beat the system. That person will
Sure.
always exist. They think that they're
Yeah.
smarter than any and everybody else, and
Yeah.
they think they got it covered. And there's always that one person, always that person's gonna always be there, always.
Well, I agree with that, and that's why the system has to be. There has to be some integrity in the system. I mean, you can put a lot of rules and regulations and all that kind of stuff. And with the one and done getting ready to go away, you're gonna see a whole lot of crazy stuff coming up now because everybody's trying to get under the wire. But you're right. There's going to be that one person that's going to sit down and figure out how they can beat it. Just like in the technology world, as tight as you make it, there's one guy sitting there saying, "Now that y'all fixed that, let me see how I can break it." And he has nothing else to do all day but to sit there and figure out how to break it. So that's his only job. So
Well, you know, uh, again, I'm Charles Morris, and this is Youth Central Sports. And so we want to say hi to Valerie. We want to say hi to Williams Watkins, and we want to say hi to Rob Love and Miss Crosby, and so on and so forth, and Matthew Mitchell that's on the board with us this evening. So Miss Forrest, happy that you joined us, who was on the Journey 2020, so on and so forth. We're also live on Twitter. We're also live on Periscope. And so we're here at Youth Central Sports, where we come to you every Wednesday at 11 p.m. And if you want to give us a shout out, you can. If you got questions or comment, you can. As a matter of fact, I guess I probably should find the number where people, if they want to text us, a comment, or you can shout out to us on Facebook, anything like that. Questions or comment that you may have for the original Coach Carter, the original Coach Carter.
the original, the original.
The
That's
original
me.
Coach Carter. Before we get into the NFL, I saw,
Mm-hmm.
Corey Brewer. Did you know that he's unsigned?
Mm-hmm.
I saw him on the jump today. Did you know that he's unsigned? Nobody has signed him so far.
I did not remember him being signed, so I really thought by now he had been signed. But I guess I was not aware that he was not. He has not have yet been signed.
Yeah,
What I did not see that broadcast today. A little surprised. I still thought he had some game,
right, right,
some
right, right,
worthy
right.
to somebody. I'd be interested to know, did he express any ideas to why he hasn't been signed?
No, when I saw him on the jump today, I just heard him say that he's looking forward to playing, this season somewhere. So
It's still time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah,
5 days away, and they make adjustments because they're gonna have some massive cuts here soon. A lot of these guys that we're seeing in this preseason ball right now, they're not going to be around. A lot of those guys are playing for other jobs anyway, with the or two-way contracts, and some of them are playing to go to the G League. So, if he can be patient, it may be up to the All-Star break, but it's a strong possibility. I believe he might get a job.
yeah. Uh, Man, remember I was giving you a hard time about those about the Florida State Seminoles, and I thought they was going to go down there in the U, because going to the U, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Florida State going to, next thing it's just like,
They got taken down there.
did you see any part of that
Yeah, I
game?
saw the whole game. I watched every play because I was actually, well, I'll take that back. When I when I when I really tuned in, it was the middle of the first quarter, but they did. I thought they played well enough to win, but they gave us some crucial, as in all opportunities. They let momentum get them, and the turnovers hurt them. And I really felt bad for them because I thought they played well enough to win. I really did. I mean, they were rolling. They really looked good, but turnovers, man, some turnovers just choked them off, and they let the U get up on and let the U
No,
Get
well,
get the
actually,
nostalgia.
no, well, actually, you know what, Vince? I turned the channel. I turned the channel. I think the score was like 27-3 or something like that.
27-7.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
27-7 or
27
something
to
like that.
3,
It was like
27-7. Yeah.
27-7. I watched a little bit of it, then
Mhm.
I flipped the channel. Next thing I know, I'm looking, and Miami won. I'm like, what? So I
They
missed
came
all
back
of
in
that.
the second half. Yeah,
Yeah.
second half. A lot of miscues and turnovers there with Florida. They had a couple of crucial. I think they missed a field goal that really crucial to them. They lost that really put the game in jeopardy. So um, tough time over there. But Gators came out looking good.
Well, yeah, yeah. I
They
mean, I was
looked
going to talk
they're
about them
healthy.
beating LSU.
Yeah, they got healthy. A lot of my Gator friends who are big Gator fans called and said one of the big differences in their game is they were healthy for a change. And so that proved itself. But it's very interesting to see UCF still winning
Well, yeah,
over.
I mean, in my notes, I was going to say they're now in the top 10.
Yeah, yeah, they're playing some good football over there. And I'm interested to see what my guy is going to do over there in Nebraska because he got his hands full. But I believe that given time, he's going to give them a product that they're going to be proud of. But you got to mold and shape it. I think he'll have a. I'm hoping um, that Florida State will give their coach a chance to mold their team, but I'm not sure that's going to happen because of the environment that he's in, and he's aware of that. Where in Nebraska, having the same tradition will be more patient with this guy, and at least I think they will, because it's going to take time. You just can't come in and put it out
But
there like
but
that. But
but
fans
Vince,
expect the same thing they're saying about Miami. They want Miami to win
well,
right now, and that's what's going to happen.
that's what I'm saying. If you at Florida State, if you at Florida, if you, I think out of the three schools, when I think of Miami, Florida, and Florida State, I think they probably none of them will have. I mean, they don't have any patience, but I think Florida probably has the least amount of patience than out of the three. But at Florida State, man, you
Well,
can't go 500. You cannot go 500 at
well,
any of these schools.
they, Jimbo Fisher went 500 a couple of years, but he showed promise on the field, and I think that's what gave him that opportunity to stay. And now look what he's doing at Texas A&M. They're not winning, but boy, they look good out there. They competing down for down. I'm interested in my guy at Arizona State. Um,
Come on, coach,
what's
coach.
the,
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
think his name right
Who,
because
who,
I
well,
like what they're
hey,
doing.
hey, I can tell you his nickname, Toast.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, unfortunately,
you,
that's what
you,
it's all
you
about.
play to win the game. Yeah,
What's his name?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna come to us in a second. Somebody
yeah,
out
but you
there,
got to
give
win.
it to us.
I understand. And when you take these jobs, a lot of these administrators and administration say, "Yeah, we'll be patient, and we understand it's going to take time to build it." But there's certain games you got to win. That's just a, now when Florida and Florida State play. I mean, that's going to be a deal breaker. You're going to have to perform. You're going to need to win that game, especially if Florida State is, and thank God they won a game or two.
Her,
But um,
Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards, Herm Edwards, I like what Herm is doing down there. He's really teaching those kids, and hopefully they'll be patient with him until he can put it together. Hopefully they'll be patient with Taggart, but uh, I don't know. I mean, it takes a minute. I can definitely tell you. I know these are good athletes. I know these are top programs, and that's where the pressure comes, and that's why they pay the coach such a great salaries, and that's the risk you run when you take the job. That if I don't win, guess what? I might be gone before the season's over.
Yeah, man, and
I tell you what, I would love to have that as a problem. I'd love for
there
them
was
to sign
some
me and
there was some interesting losses in the top 10 in college football. Well, in the top 20. Well,
yes,
actually, in the
yeah,
top 10.
in the top 10 too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
you Clemson is winning, but they're not looking good. Alabama rolling on like a machine. Texas, well, Georgia's playing good football up there. LSU was playing well up until to most recently. There's a couple of several of those schools out there. They're putting. I mean, it's interesting ball. I enjoy watching college football. I
Yeah.
really do. Just like college basketball, I like college basketball as well.
Oh, okay. Before we actually start talking about the NFL, I think that
Hmm.
we probably should go ahead and do the sprint, the 3 minute sprint. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Since we didn't get a chance to do it last week, so how you feel? How your
I'm
leg
good.
feel?
My leg is fine. I'm ready. I'm ready to get on around the track.
All right. Here we go with the 3 minute sprint right here. Okay. Did anyone did you or anyone in your family ever used to sleepwalk?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I had an aunt that did it all the time.
Hey, remind
He
me to tell
scared
you a
me to
story
death.
about my brother, man. Boy, that was some funny
Okay.
stuff. Now, you don't have to say who, but I'm gonna ask the question. Do
Okay.
you know of anyone from back in the day that used to play the numbers?
Yes. Yes. Not just one person either.
For 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 the millennials out there, they probably don't know what we talk about.
Yeah. I had a whole lot of people pay the numbers.
Yeah, my mom used to play the numbers.
Yeah, my aunt was a huge player, and she won too. I gotta give her
Yeah.
credit for that.
Do you know of anyone that have won the lottery?
Not personally, no.
Okay. Have you ever won a scratch off?
Yes,
Oh, wow. Okay. Have you ever been bitten by a dog?
no,
No. Okay. Do
no.
you believe they landed on the moon?
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna say yes, yes, yes. I believe it. Although I
Okay.
have reservations, but yes,
Would you take a ride on the space shuttle?
no,
No? Man, I would love to take a ride on
no.
the
I'm
space
good. I'm
shuttle.
good right here. Earth
I
is
would
okay
love
with
to take
me.
a ride on the space shuttle. Have you ever played 18 rounds of golf?
Yes,
Oh, really? Oh.
yeah. I wouldn't
Oh.
call it playing, but I was out there for 18 holes. Yes,
Have you ever been to a hockey game?
yes,
Oh,
yes. I have.
okay.
More exciting than I thought it was.
Right. It's a very fast paced game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and jam?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Jelly. Okay. How old were you the first time you bought someone flowers?
Um, 12 or 13.
Oh, all right, player.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I won't
I didn't know
ask
what I was
who.
doing, but somebody told me to. No, don't ask who.
No. I won't ask who, but do you remember the girl that told you that she loved you the first time?
Yes, yes, yes. I do. I do.
I can tell by the look on your face.
And I'm still trying.
Wow.
I'm trying to find her again too, if I can.
For those out there, that's the 3 minute sprint where for 3 minutes I get to ask Vince all kind of crazy questions just for
Yeah,
3 minutes. So we do that every week. It's a little uh, break up during the show to, have some fun.
yeah. A little brain teaser, if you will.
Yeah, that's funny. But, there's a question that I ask you, and I don't forgot what it was, but you made me laugh so hard, and it had to do. I know what it was. I'd asked
What was
you
that?
about the first girl that you took to the drive-in, but then you was like, yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
'Cause I was supposed to take somebody else, and I told her I was someplace else, and then So to this day, I'm not sure she knew I was at the drive-in with somebody else. So I'm gonna kind of leave it. And we friends now, so let's let it stay that way. Because if she knew who I actually took, she would be pissed.
Oh, okay. Shh. We not gonna
Yes, keep
tell.
that quiet. Don't tell nobody.
Okay, let's go over. Let's now jump to the NFL, the wonderful
Hmm.
NFL, the no fun league. Yeah, 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 yeah. Man,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got a question. What the heck is wrong with Blake Bartles in that game against Kansas City? What the heck happened there, Vince? Can you explain it,
I, I, I
please?
I don't think I can explain that. I really, I was a little dumbfounded myself because Blake has been playing and Jacksonville has been playing some good. But I didn't realize Kansas City is a good team. Don't get me wrong, and they got those guys playing at a high level. But just a little bit surprised by Jacksonville. I'm like, really? I mean, come on, guys, you guys got a chance to be up there, but I don't know, Blake, because Blake was playing well there for me. He was hot as a firecracker last year, and he started off this year not doing bad, but I don't know. I can't explain it. I'd love to hear him explain it.
I don't think that he would be able to. I just think that he's in the twilight zone. Man, the Cleveland Browns won, man. The Cleveland Brown won. Cleveland, man. Yeah, and Cleveland had, with their luck, and if they had a kicker, I think they probably would have had between 2 or 3 more wins than what they do already.
Well, several people believe share that with you, and I would say that they don't look like the type the way they play does not reflect their record because they're actually playing a pretty good game. They're having those breakdowns like you spoke about, missed opportunities that they don't have, but they really play well. I mean, they put a good team on the field. They get out and they play hard. I'm really, I'm not a Cleveland Brown fan, but I am a fan of teams who just really give it their all. And I think they believe in Hugh so much that they're really, really trying to get a victory for him, really trying to put a good product on the field. And I think they're doing well, but just having a miscue here or there that's not allowing them to come out victorious. I think that's true. Also, there's some interesting conversation going on about the Raiders with Gruden over there. A lot of people saying he should have stayed in the booth.
Stayed in the booth.
Uh,
Stayed in the booth.
that's what a lot. I don't agree, but I'm beginning to understand what they're saying. Man needs a chance, but he's having a hard time, and I expected that. I didn't expect for it to go the way they thought it was going to go.
Yeah. Well,
Not so much that he's been gone a long time, but just the fact that you got a new team. You got some special athletes, but it's going to take a minute for that to turn around. It's going to take a minute. And he's in his minute right about now.
what I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but how confused is the defense when it comes to how to hit the quarterback now in the NFL? How confusing! I mean,
Well,
it looks weird. It looks like they're
well,
confused. They're like, well, I can hit him, no, I can't hit him. And then there's a couple of plays where they were just little soft plays, and they still threw flags, and it just seemed like mission impossible.
well, the narrative on that right now is that lot of the players are not. The players are saying that they need some consistency in how they call it. They're fine with the rule change. They understand what I got to do the best they can to do that because that's the rule. But that falling on, they had two of those that created an uproar because there's nothing the player can do. It's not like he intentionally did that. That's just force, if you will. And so one of the questions now is referees: are you calling it? Are you being fair? Are you being consistent? Are you being too tight? Let's put some reality into this thing. On the other side, about the head and shoulder and where the guys are not complaining. I mean, they're making the adjustments. A couple of calls have been questioned. Real close calls. I saw too that referees actually got it right. They did a review. They were right on their call. Player disagree. I mean, not so much because it's the rules. He just don't think I did anything wrong. So there has not been that much complaint about that, but that piling on, that falling on type of situation, that's where I've heard most conversation. They've accepted it for what it is. One of those situations where I don't like it, but I'll do what I have to do. And they're not. What I think some consistency from the officials on how they call it would help a whole lot. But it's new to them too. It's new to them too, and they are going to the booth and getting some assistance in some of their calls. So I think it's going to work itself out. It'll be all right.
Hey, I love watching that the young gentleman for Kansas City, man. He's something special, man. You know, the quarterback. I
Yeah,
mean, he's.
Andy,
Hmm?
if you remember Andy Reid when he was in Philadelphia, he actually put a decent product out there on the field at all times. And it's well rounded. And I think they've given him a chance down in Kansas City to kind of build what he wants. And he's got a nice machine down there. And that guy fits in very, very well. It fits Andy to a T, in my opinion. Well, at least his style of play, anyway. And so and their defense is they're playing good ball down there. I always like them. I'll tell you what. Now, is Fran home? Okay, Philadelphia's got me worried. I'm worried about Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, Philly now, because I really expected something a little bit different from them. But I know it's hard. It's hard when you win and you come back and try to get that motivation back at it. But they're struggling. They still got time, but they're struggling. I was
Well,
surprised. I expected for them to be playing better ball than that.
before we go into this coming weekend, I'm gonna ask you a couple of games. Cowboys. They've been coming down
I tell
hard
you
on
what,
you. They've been
man.
coming
I
down hard
mean,
on your quarterback, man. They've been, they're
I
saying
don't
that
think
he's not playing the way that he
personally.
should.
I personally don't think he's done it that poorly. I mean, yeah, there's been some execution errors, but he's not calling the plays. Somebody else is calling the plays. I don't know how much freedom they're giving him, but I don't think it's him. I mean, could he execute better? Yeah. Could he bring his efficiency up? Yeah, I think so. But he had a lot of drop balls that touched the receiver's hands and stuff. Now they also fought an offensive coordinator, and they're looking at Garrett real hard. That was a good game. They had a chance to win that game, and they lost that game. I think the receiving core needs some assistance. Now there also was a rumor that Des Bryant wanted to get back with the Cowboys, but Jerry Jones said no, that's not going to happen. Now you're talking about a disaster. If he brought him back, I think the team would blow up. I really do. Uh, they're
Okay.
talking about, and one of the things that they're talking real heavily about is getting rid of Garrett. That's he's defending his decision, to kick the field goal or not kick the field goal, whatever. I think it's coming down to him. I think it's going to come down to him and the offensive coordinator. They're going to get rid of both of them. But
Okay.
I'm still hopeful that we're going to put it together. And Zeke ran the ball well. I thought Zach did make a couple of nice passes, but our offense does seem to be sputtering a little bit.
Week 6, Eagles and
All
Giants.
right. Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, I'm gonna go with the Eagles on this one. Boy, I tell you what, I'm worried about them, but the Giants are on their way down. But I'm going with the Eagles.
What's up with the Falcons, man? They play the Buccaneers. What's up with the Falcons? But they play the Buccaneers. What's
I've always been in awe of the Falcons. I just don't know what the heck is going on up there. I'm gonna go with the Bucks on that one.
okay? The Chargers and the Browns.
Boy, I tell you what, I'm gonna go out here on the. I think the Chargers really got a good chance of winning that game, but I'm gonna go with the Browns as an upset.
Okay, the Colts and the Jets. Yeah, exactly.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I'll go with it. I'll go with the Jets. I'll just go
Actually,
with
you
the
know
Jets.
what? I'm going to go with the Colts on that one. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Jets. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going with the Jets because just for the same reason. I don't know why, but I just like the Jets for some reason.
The Seahawks and the Raiders. The Raiders
Man, I
and
tell you
Raider
what, I'm
Nation.
gonna have to go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks on that. I think they kind of put their feet back up on them, and they played some good ball the other weekend. So I'm gonna go with them.
The 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 Panthers and your favorite Redskins.
Man, I want the Panthers to win that so bad. I'm not a Panther fan, but I just hate the Redskins.
The Bills and the Texans.
Texans.
The
Although
Cardinals.
Bills could be a surprise.
And actually, you know what they played? Yeah, yeah. Actually, they were talking about how well the quarterback played last week. The Cardinals
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Vikings.
Man, the Vikings have been disappointing lately, but I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one.
Here's an old rivalry right here: the Steelers and the Bengals.
Man, I tell you what, Steelers are under pressure over there. Bengals playing free, but I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
The Bears and the Dolphins.
Oh man, that falls in them categories. I don't really care, but I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I'm gonna see if they get it back together.
Bears, man, the Bears gonna win that game. Uh,
Okay,
the Rams and the Broncos. Man, the Rams been looking good though.
I like the Rams. Rams have been, they surprised me a little bit. I was not high on the Rams, but they're playing some good ball right now, so I got to go with the Rams.
Ravens and Tennessee.
Tennessee's been a little bit of a surprise. They dropped a close one the other day, so I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Okay, you got your Jaguars and the Cowboys.
But it doesn't matter who the Cowboys play. I got to go with the Cowboys. I just hope we show up and play. Play.
Where
But
is that game being played?
I don't know. Let me check real quick. I think it's in.
If it's
Uh,
if it's an evening game, they're probably playing it in Texas because that's a
Most
that's a
likely, yeah.
four that's a 4 o'clock game. So they're probably playing it in Texas.
That's probably in Texas. Yeah, you're right. If it's a 4 o'clock game, it's probably in Texas. Let me
Okay.
just quick look here.
What about the 49ers and the Packers?
Man, I'm Packers, man. I'm not a Packer fan, but Packers, man, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers on that.
Okay, and this right here is the Sunday night game. The Packers and the 49ers, that's Monday night. But Sunday night,
Mm.
you got the Chiefs and the Patriots.
Man, I love. I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm going with Kansas City.
Okay. Okay. All right.
It was
Well,
that.
that's
That's the
week.
14th.
Huh?
Yeah. And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
Cowboys. We playing in Dallas.
Yep.
They
Yep.
playing in Dallas.
Yep. So if they're playing in Dallas, then I probably would give that to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I would put it on paper that we have a chance to win. Uh, I'm still believe that we got a chance. I'm a
Okay.
diehard fan, so it don't matter what we do. I'm always believe in them.
Well, again, we come your way every Wednesday at 11 p.m. right here at www.thejourney20. Geez, I'm talking about the Journey 2020. Anyway,
There you go.
Youth Central Sports, we come your way every Wednesday at 11 p.m. The Journey comes your way every Monday at 7 p.m. at
Mhm.
www.thejourney2020.com. But this Youth Central Sports with the original Coach Carter, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Periscope, we're on YouTube. You make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and Coach, when does basketball season start for you?
Well, we officially start practice on October 29th. So we're a few days away from tossing it up and really getting after it. We'll get out there, and then we play two exhibition games that first week, that Saturday. We start on that Monday, and we got exhibition ball on that Saturday. We got one more exhibition in November 13th. We tip it off for real.
Okay, well, again, for those, prayers goes out to those that in the midst of the storm.
Yeah,
It
amen.
really has been devastating, and that's one of those things where what can you do about Mother Nature and dealing with the
Right.
reality of hurricanes come, and but the important thing is that the material stuff can be replaced. That it is
Hmm.
great that if you are with family and friends, and that the support system is there for us to help each other. And again, the prayers are there, and we like this. We will get past this, and be thankful.
Yes.
Be thankful, that we're
Mhm.
still here.
Amen.
So.
And
Right.
we
So
really
Vince,
send our prayers. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying we send our prayers out and really wishing everybody Godspeed and protection out there. And I want to give kudos to those people who evacuated on demand as they
Right.
asked them to do to help, which diminishes fatalities as well. Because I agree with you 100%. We can replace structures, we can rebuild, we can resod and all those other things, but we cannot replace lives. So lives are
Right.
more important than anything else. So we continue to ask blessings as it goes up the coast, and send our blessings up with that as well.
Right. And kudos and everything to the first responders and for people
Absolutely.
who go out and risk their own lives
Hmm.
and do what they do. So thank you for your
Service of
service.
others. Yeah.
Right. So with
Yeah.
that being said, again, Charles Morris, along with the original Coach Carter, that we comes your
Yes,
way
sir. We appreciate
every
you.
Wednesday right here at Youth Central
Every
Sports.
Wednesday
Thank
night.
you for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your week and look forward to next week. And we get to talk about, let me see, we will see Jaguars, Cowboys. We will get to
Cowboys.
talk about
We'll be talking
it.
about that for sure.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your week.
God bless.